Plaintiff Danette LaRock befriended the defendant after they met at work, and over time, Danette discovered that the defendant was opinionated and argumentative. Danette claims after she rented an apartment to the defendant, Danette also learned that she was a pack rat, and she's suing her today for property damages and emotional distress. Defendant Joanne Revelle admits that she has a lot of stuff in her apartment, but didn't think it was a problem until Danette called the fire department on her and her apartment was cited as a hazard. After that, Joanne claims the plaintiff forced her out, so she's countersuing for moving expenses and stolen property.
Start with you.
Oh, Your Honor, I met Joanne 3 years ago at work. We became very good friends. Her and I like to do a lot of things together. We've even traveled together. During our course of our relationship, I noticed Joanne became very argumentative and very open opinionated. In June of 2007, I rented her my upper apartment. Soon after that, it just became a total disaster. I didn't know that Joanne was a pack rat. I have pictures here to prove how the apartment was kept.
All right, let me see them. Ma'am, you want to give me some background before I look at the pictures?
When she suggested to me on being a tenant, I told her that I didn't want to, okay? I didn't think it was a good idea. She was accusing me of stealing things in the in the house that were missing. Every time something was missing, pants were missing.
What about you being a pack rat?
I had a lot of things definitely up in the attic, which she helped me move into the house to begin with.
But they were in the attic, not in the living area.
Well, there were things up in the attic and there were things in the living area also.
Would it be a proper characterization? Pack rat?
Yes,
Okay.
probably it would.
All right, I'll look at these pictures now then and see what you're referring to.
I have
This
housing
isn't packing,
charges.
this is filth.
Your Honor, I turned myself into the city of Buffalo
Turned
Housing.
yourself in?
Yes, I went to the Buffalo
To the psychiatrist?
No. No, Your Honor. I went to the Buffalo Fire Department because I felt very unsafe in my house. Miss Reville is...
Ma'am, look at that picture. Did you live like that there?
A lot of it was due to the fact that I knew she was getting ready to throw me out.
How long did you live like this, ma'am?
Your Honor,
How long did she live like this?
the entire time. You can see after
That's
the
not true.
2009 pictures, there are 2008 pictures in which I asked her to please clean up the apartment.
Ma'am?
In the end, I was actually boxing up a lot of stuff because I knew that the situation was going downhill for about 6 or 8 months, and a lot of things were packed up in crates and stuff in the apartment because I had nowhere else to put them.
How does she owe you? Your counterclaim is that she owes you for moving expenses and stolen property?
She called the Buffalo Fire Department. Buffalo Fire Department sanctioned her and me for fire violations, okay? Then she evicted me, okay? And I had to hire a liquidator to come in and liquidate 90% of my belongings.
Ma'am, if there was a fire hazard issue because of the conditions of your property, she had every right to serve you with an emergency eviction because you were jeopardizing her life.
Yeah, but she could have said to me, I want you to move out. She didn't have to go that route.
Your Honor.
Ma'am, did you ever tell her to remove the fire hazard?
Your Honor, she was told on many occasions. I have a letter here from 9/7 of 07 where it says about stuff in the cellar because it was a fire hazard. And she had only been living there 3 months.
Joanne, no fussing, no screaming. Cellar needs to be emptied out. All the clothes, boxes, books, not later than October 1st. They will not work on the furnaces with all that stuff. They said the cellar is a fire hazard just waiting to happen. This is not a new situation. You knew this needed to be done a while ago. As per our conversation, did you receive this?
Yes.
Okay, well, you know as of 07, ma'am.
Well, that stuff was moved up into the attic, though, from the basement.
Then why were you issued a fire hazard, ma'am?
The case was dismissed, Your Honor.
Okay, and why? Did they tell you why? Did they say it wasn't a fire hazard? Did they say the fire department is erroneously issued this ticket?
I think because all the stuff was removed and everything was corrected, that she got some done and I got some done.
That means it was a fire hazard, and when you correct it, then it's dismissed. All right, so what property damages are you suing for? Because she was nasty, clear enough, but Did that damage your property?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a list of property damages here. I have one for
Let's
you
see.
and for Miss Reville.
And how did she cause you emotional distress?
My daughter Stacy Ann is here to testify that I could not have my grandchildren any longer in the home because of the way the house was. This is a
Because of the fear of fire?
Your Honor, it's a non-smoking apartment. I have it in the
Okay.
month-to-month tenancy, and Miss Reville constantly was doing this, and I was constantly up there telling her, you need to cease smoking.
See, ma'am, the problem you have in proving an emotional distress claim is that if you have an opportunity to remove the emotional distress, you have to do so. You can't sit up there and say, oh, I hope she don't put one of these cigarettes out because I'm going to sit here and I'm going to burn up.
No.
No, you
Your
have to
Honor,
do what it takes to remove that.
She was told, and that's why I
You
had to
should
go.
have evicted her then.
I did. On June 17th,
What period of time are you suing for the emotional distress?
from June 17th of 2009 until when she was physically removed out of the place, August 18th of 2009.
You're saying it was because the fire department had recently issued.
Correct. I have the charges
Okay.
here.
Let's see.
From the Buffalo for her charges
All right.
and mine.
And it is reasonable that you wouldn't have any place to go with such a short time period. So I would agree that she owes you for emotional distress.
Could I say something?
Yes.
You know, this alleged situation that she claims that was going on for 2 years, why didn't she just tell me to get out 2 years prior to that?
I can answer that, Your Honor.
Yes.
Because, Joanne, you were a very good friend.
Right.
And
don't
you can
believe
even
that.
ask your cousin.
I don't
okay?
believe that.
You don't believe it?
Your Honor?
Not at all.
Your Honor.
Ma'am, I promise you, anyone let you maintain their property in this condition for 2 years is not a good friend. You're right. They're a great friend.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Counterclaim stolen property. How are you suing her for stolen property?
Well, I had to hire a liquidator to get rid of 95% of my stuff, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The liquidator told me, okay, she had set stuff aside for the sale, and her and her sister were the only two that were in the apartment besides the liquidator, and the stuff was missing, okay?
I don't mean to laugh, ma'am, but
Your Honor, I have...
how could you possibly know what is
I
missing?
didn't know, Your Honor.
among all
I wasn't
this?
there. She was there. She had slated
Ma'am.
everything for the sale.
It is not reasonable for me to believe that you could distinguish what was missing among any of your property with your property being kept in this condition, ma'am. Do you admit that there was some property stolen?
No, Your Honor. I also have a letter, I should say an email from the liquidator, because she's also
Saying what?
she's saying that I never took anything and I was very helpful with the liquidation. I didn't have to let her have this liquidation sale in my house.
Right.
She needed just to move out. I was
Correct.
good enough to let that go on.
This woman was good to you, ma'am. $2,324 is your judgment for the property damage I've observed. Your counterclaim is dismissed, ma'am. You have no evidence that she stole any of your property. Your moving expenses are also denied, ma'am. She had every right to have you move as soon as that fire hazard was determined. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I personally seen her argumentative. She was that way when she visited my home.
I think that's way off the wall, but hey.
Hi, Judge Mathis. My name is Sheila. If my roommate moves out before our lease is up, can I sue them for unpaid rent for the remainder of the lease?
First and foremost, Sheila, you have to keep in mind that if you win any judgment against your roommate, then the money belongs to the landlord anyway. And if your landlord comes after you instead of your roommate, unfortunately, you have to pay the rent and you're liable just as the roommate would have been. It's called joint and several liability. But also, just remember, you have an obligation to find a replacement within a reasonable amount of time. All right? Good luck.